Hey there! It's my first time making a video now for Flight Simulator. I figured I could show some people some cool things about the TBM and some other stuff I thought of too, which maybe I'll make some videos in the future. But today we're going to fly the TBM930. It's got the G3000 panel with the GFC 700 autopilot. Pretty cool stuff. I actually operate this, well, not the exact panel, but a G3000 myself for work. So I have some experience with these, just not in a TBM itself. What we're going to do is make sure this thing is all set up for start. Then we're going to start it up, get it ready for takeoff, set up a flight plan, take off, look at the scenery, shoot the GPS runway 5 approach into Queenstown, New Zealand. And it'll be real amazing. So hang in there and follow along and we'll get this thing going. So let me go ahead and look around the cockpit first. Looks like everything is off. There's the crash bar. You're going to go ahead and raise that up. We are not crashing. I'm just kidding. That's just how you shut off the battery and generator real quick if you needed to. We're going to go ahead and make sure the ignition's off because it seems that likes to be on when you start up. Boost pump off, fuel selector off, to manual so that it doesn't switch on you while you're starting. You've got the turn AP off and on. Okay. And you've got the autopilot and trims off here. Let's go ahead and take a look down here. You've got your throttle at cutoff, condition cutoff, so no fuel to the engine yet. You've got your fuel selector, left tank. Let's take a look. The bleeds are off. If they're on, flip them off. All these switches on the left are going to be off, and so is the air conditioning. So everything is off as we want. And we're going to go ahead and turn on the battery. And now that the battery's on, we're going to go ahead and turn on our ignition on and fuel pump on. And we're going to go ahead and clear out the lights here because that's kind of annoying. Oh, just kidding. You need a crew alert system, which apparently requires the MFD to be on. So you just click that little soft key on the right side and it brings you through.
Okay.
Now you can clear the lights.
Oral warning, okay.
And she said all the oral warnings are okay. Great. Alright, we're going to go ahead and start it up. So the ignition's on, the fuel pump's on, the battery's on, of course, and we are set. So let's go ahead and just hit the starter. And we're going to take a look at our engine instruments here. The engine instruments are very important. We need to check the oil pressure. Oil is coming up. The NG, which is your compressor, is increasing in speed, compressing more and more air, and the ITT is staying nice and cool. So once we add the fuel to it, okay. Once we add the fuel to it, you hear that ignition, and that ITT's coming up. Here we go. And we don't want it going past 900 degrees. So if you see it going past 900 degrees, you reach down here and pull that condition back to cut off the fuel. And it looks good. So we're up here. We're going to go ahead and shuttle it over into taxi. And it's now there at 60%. We're ready to go. So I've got my throttle up. We're going to go ahead and turn on the generator. Now we have power to the system. We're going to turn the ignition to auto, the pumps to auto, so that they come on when they need to, but not all the time. And we'll go ahead and turn our lights on because we are running and ready to move soon. Okay, all we want to do is just kind of go down here and throw in our flight plan. So you hit the MFD button and you go to the flight plan we got the origin. Origin's gonna be New Zealand, Milford Sound, NZMF, Milford, apparently, and we're gonna hit enter. And we're gonna Queenstown, which is NZQN, New Zealand, Queenstown. Okay, enter. Yeah, perfect. Now we've got direct, and we're gonna go ahead and hit back. And over here, I just like to set this one up for Navcom, and it's all set. I mean, you don't have to touch any of this right now. If you needed to, you got navs over here for VORs, ILSs, what have you. Okay, so after engine start, we're gonna go ahead and want to make sure our bleeds are on for pressurization. You've got your AC so that we cool the air in the cabin. And we're gonna turn on the pitot and stall heats because it tells you to. And we do need to go up here and flip the fuel to auto and turn the autopilot on. So now everything's set up. We are ready to taxi, but one more thing before we go, we will go ahead and set up the autopilot flight director. So I like to click that on. It's got roll pitch. All we have to really do is just spin it up. Okay, that doesn't work that way. What we'll do is we'll just hit flight level change, and it captured our altitude because I don't have an altitude set. You always have to set the altitude, or it just captures where you are. We want to go to 10,500 for this trip. It's pretty high mountains. That'll keep us clear. And what we'll want is flight level change. We'll speed it up to 140. TBM can fly 140 in the climb, no problem. This thing's a bat out of hell, it seems, in the simulator. One of the funny things I see already is that there's no ALTS under my flight level change, so that's interesting. That means it's probably not going to capture the altitude, so we'll have to deal with that later. And for some reason, I'm in VOR mode here. We need to check our needle. If we're going GPS direct, we need to check the active nav on your needle. It should be magenta. Okay, pink, magenta. I don't know, graphic designers, they're funny. Let's go ahead and turn right now. And try not to hit these guys. Park brakes on here. Ooh, this guy's really close. Are you gonna move? Yeah, we'll just take this guy's head off too. Alright. Taxiing. Oh, there's a truck. You gotta watch out for these guys, man. They're all over the place. Okay. So, we'll go ahead and turn right here and taxi to the runway. While we're taxiing, we'll just real quick throw the flaps down to 10. Or takeoff, rather. And we'll double check everything's on overhead. It looks like all the switches are up. It's always a good thing. You know, it's good if the switches are up. That means everything's on. The switches are down, they're off, like all that ice equipment. We don't need that right now. What's the temperature? You know, just take a look. The temperature is 13 degrees. Well, we may find some ice out in this climb out, so we do have the stall heat and prop heat on. I'm sorry. We will have the stall heat and prop heat and pitot heat on. Okay, let's go ahead and double check no one's on final. I don't see anyone. We would tell them we're taking the runway. We are ready. We got our flight director set. The last thing is we'll want to sync up our heading bug on the runway so that it is in front of us. So you just click on it there, and now we are ready. So let's go ahead and zoom in on our engine instruments, and we'll power up. Hold in the brakes. There you go. Power's coming in. First we get 2,000 torque, 2,000 RPM, and then we'll see the torque. We don't want to go too high, so about 95 is good. Look at that. I guess we're only getting 1800. The ITT's getting too high. We gotta go. So, let's roll it. Try and stay right on the center line throughout this. It's a little squirrely. Yep, I'm on a twisty stick on my joystick. There is 85, and we'll go ahead and pull the nose into the bars. Try not to hit the trees, and trimming up a little bit to help me. Gear up, flaps up, we're on our way. Turning right a little. This is really not a smart thing to do in real life. Taking off in this kind of weather out of Milford Sound is probably stupid as hell. We're gonna do it anyway because we're in Flight Simulator and it's cool. You can do anything. So here we are, climbing out, doing 120 right now. Flaps are up, gears up. And we're just kind of chugging along here. Let's go ahead and engage the autopilot. That way I don't have to hold the stick. Look, I try and keep my nose in the bars when I engage it so it doesn't have to do anything. So there we go. It's yelling at me because the yacht amper didn't come on with it. Sounds like something to talk to your avionics guy about. Okay. It is raining. This is amazing. We're in the rain. We're getting washed out here. Hopefully there's no ice. This won't be a good flight. Let's make sure we've got our inertia separators on. We don't want to wash out the engine. That won't be good. And then we'll go ahead and find that prop heat. Where's that? Okay, I think I can just hit right on my keypad. And prop the ice right there. We've got the other ice on. Windshield does not need to be on. We'll go ahead and turn on airframe ice here. Let's go ahead and turn left heading 270, sorry. And just kind of go around this mountain a little more. And we're not even in heading mode, so you need to click that. And yes, we have the inertia separators and we have flight level change. So verify heading mode, autopilot, yaw damper, flight level change. Look at those clouds. How awesome is that? So, this is what they were talking about, huh? As long as we can stay above it, we should be okay. We're going to go ahead and turn right now toward Queenstown. So, let's just turn the heading bug first. And you just grab that thing and spin it. We'll go ahead and turn to 090 and keep climbing. So we're going to make it over all those little mountain peaks. The highest one is about 9,500 feet over here or something, so that should clear it. Okay. And when able, we can go direct to Queenstown. So what we do is we just go down here to our little touchscreen. Flight plan or direct, and you can either hit direct here, or here, and it brings you all to the same page. That does not bring you to the same thing. If you did that in a real airplane, it would already have Queenstown in it. So we're going to go ahead and just click on Queenstown to go direct and say direct to. And now it brings us to the page with it filled out, and we'll hit activate. And we'll just click on, you normally would hit get back and it would close this, but that's not how this one works. So we're just going to click on Queenstown again and close it. There's that high mountain peak under us. And how we doing? Looking good. We are leveling out. 10,500 to go. And it's getting wacky. So what we're going to want to just do here is hit vertical speed, and it will want to capture the altitude selected. Anyway, it should have done that with flight level change. I don't know why it didn't. Yeah, it's just not going to capture. Weird. It really should be capturing on flight level change all day long. But we'll just use vertical speed, and it's already captured 10,500 now, so we're golden. If we're direct Queenstown, forgot we have to hit nav. To go direct, you need to be on FMS mode to fly the FMS needle. Alright, so we are in altitude hold, leveling out 10,500 with the FMS needle on the autopilot. The inertia separator's on, and that's just fine. We are not high enough to worry about it, and your temp is nice and cool. Everything looks good on the gauges. Good. Rocking it. Now, as far as the lights, you know, they're LEDs. We're just going to leave them on. Who cares? We're going to come down pretty soon. So everything looks pretty good here at this time. Soon we're going to be loading up the approach into Queenstown, but for now, let's go ahead and take a look outside and enjoy the views. Alright, so we probably should start thinking about setting up the approach now. So let's go ahead and take a look. We are about 33 miles from Queenstown. We'll go ahead and set this approach up direct to the initial approach fix. So what we got to do is get out of the flight plan so you can hit home or back. We're going to go to procedure. We're going to select the approach here. Approach. We're going to go ahead and check the airport is Queenstown. The approach is RNAV5 Yankee. That's the only one in Flight Simulator. There are more in real life, but that'll do for now. Transition Ibabu. Well, I can't select anything else. And even still, if you wanted one of the closer transitions, you would have to do the whole approach. Now, we'll load and activate because we want to go direct to Ibabu. So it is active. And we can just double check that real quick with the flight plan button and going down here. It should have Ibabu as the next fix, and it does. So let's go up and hit FMS, and it's in FMS. Okay, now we're direct Ibabu. So now we would actually brief the approach correctly, but instead I don't have a plate for this RNAV5 Yankee. So we're going to go ahead and just take a look at the altitudes on this thing, but let's see here. There we go. So it says 10 feet, but that's not right. I think we mean 10,000. Now we're at 10,500, so we're good until QN 577. Then we're going to go ahead and descend on 9200 by RN21. I don't know if any of these fixes are real or anything, but that's what they say here. We got 9200 until R317, then it's 8200. to cross R317 down to 7100. Shoot. Yeah, I guess we're looking at R262, 7100, 6300 at 565. Jesus, a lot of fixes for an approach. And then we're like, the final approach looks like Mapka, and maybe the mist here. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not looking at the plate. All right, good. So that's all set up. We'll just go back to flight plan, scroll up to our active leg. All right, there we are. Yeah, we'll just let it slide down anyway. Okay, so we're on our way. Now, while we're sitting here doing nothing, we can take a look at all this other stuff. So there's your map. You have a little inset map in here that you can use. You can range out just like that, and you can see what's going on with your flight plan. Just in real life, there's lots of options on there: traffic, weather, storm scope, lightning. We could take a look at what they don't have any options. It doesn't work. Traffic inset. Let's take a look. Nope, doesn't work. PFD settings. Okay. Attitude overlays. Yep, doesn't work. PFD mode full. Split. Yep, doesn't work. Bearing pointers work. Yes. So you got nav 1, nav 2. You can load that up on the nav box, which is again over here. You can set up VOR frequencies or whatever. You got GPS. Bearing pointer for GPS, and probably ADF as well, which nobody should use these days. I hope they're not using those anymore. That's wind options. Option 2 is my favorite. You just get the wind line. Option 1 is the cross plus crosswind, headwind, tailwind. So this is a 0 tailwind, 3 crosswind. There's the indicator with an actual direction. That's kind of neat too, but I'm just used to that. So now we are inbound. Now let's see here. We can start descending after QN 557, and we are at ADBAB. That's not even on the approach we're flying, so whatever. I'm really lost at what it's trying to do here. That must have been just a flyover. It wasn't even in the flight plan. It's an accident. And, we're gonna go ahead and set the next altitude, even though we're not going there yet. It's 9,200. We want to pre-plan these things so that we're not behind the aircraft. So here's IBOB. Okay. Coming in. Now we can go ahead and start slowing it down, so bring the power back to about 50% for now. It's fine. And here we are onto the next leg. So again, this is the scoreboard. It tells you what's happening now. What are you doing? Okay. We're gonna go violate all the rules and land without a clearance because that's fun in the simulator. Oh, I can't see anything. So what do you do about that? All of a sudden, your window's covered with ice. And you want to land the airplane, it's going to be pretty tough to see anything. So what we're going to want to do is go ahead and just turn on windshield heat. And that would be that right there. Windshield de-ice on, and we'll just sit here and watch it because that's kind of cool, right? Well, it's not really moving much, but usually it would just fly right off once you turn that on. Hopefully by the time we get to the airport, there's nothing there. Now we're going to go ahead and start cycling the boots because we are building ice. here. It's on, so we want to make sure that we are not building it in improper places where you don't have boots. Okay, now we can descend. Vertical speed, we're coming down. And there's 1,000 feet a minute. We're gonna pull that power way back now, about 20. Let's try that. Hopefully we can slow this puppy down. We're already turning inbound. We're gonna go ahead and just set it down to, what is it, 8,200? We're landing on runway 5, so we're going to put the heading bug over there for now. Yeah, we're definitely loading up with ice there. And you can see some of the ice building behind the wing, it looks like, or building behind the boot, rather. And so you don't really want that. That doesn't look good. It does destroy the airflow over the airframe. Look at this. Oh my gosh. So we want to be very careful in the landing. You want to come in a little faster because this ice does disturb the airflow pretty dramatically. Luckily, we have no ice on the front of the boot, so it did its job. Let's just make sure we're staying ahead here. What's the next altitude? It was 7,100 feet. Let's take a look down here. We're at the pink part here, 82. We're going to 71 next. And we're coming up on that 82. We're a little high on this glide path. I'm not sure if, yeah, we'll be good. I'm not sure if we're supposed to be below it yet, but we're still good on distance. Here comes 257. We're supposed to be at 8,200 by 197. So that's after this turn. We have some time. Let's take a look out the window, enjoy ourselves. Okay, so the windshield did clear. Look at that. You can see through it again. Even the side window's clear, sort of. Looks like a little something on it. And it needs to clean these windows. Alright. Another player out there, Gamer Space. Hey, Gamer Space. I'm sure you won't be watching the video. Well, maybe. Man, it's getting slow. Let's go ahead and add some power. We don't want to get below our minimum icing speed. And we're going to go ahead and descend now to the next altitude, 7,100. And we'll go ahead and click yes. And wheel it down to go down. Wheel it up to go down, because it's like an inverted joystick. And we don't want to speed up that much. Jeez. Good. I'm surprised she's not saying landing gear. What happened to my torque gauge? It's at 5%. Okay, here we go. So next we have a turn up ahead. If you want to zoom out on the map, really, you can go ahead and just spin this knob here. That's going to be your solution for that. So okay, I don't know what I'm clicking. I'm on the pointer here. You don't want pointer. Or you want spinner. Well, there we go. Yep. And this. Okay, I'm holding it way too long. There we go. So we can see what's going on there. Go ahead and bump the power back up a little. Back in the thick of the ice again here. And there's everybody on the runway. start turning to final soon. So let me go back in the cockpit. We're going to go ahead and check our altitude. I probably have to descend to 6,200 now. Is it 63, 62? What is it? 6,300. So we'll start that process. There's 63, and we are at the fix. I can't see that. Come on, 71. Yeah, we got to pass this fix before we can descend. And once that needle moves, we can start switching over. Here we go. Vertical speed, wheeling it up for down. We are going down 1,000 feet a minute. It's good, and we're going to reduce that power now again. There we go. Alrighty, so coming up here on the final approach fix, MOPCA, we're going to want to be configured for landing. So 6,300, we're going to go down to 5,500 next. So we can go ahead and pre-select that because we are captured at our altitude. It says altitude hold there. So 5,500. And when we hit this fix, keep the speed up. When we hit this fix, we can descend and get the gear down. The flaps configured. Probably want to take a look at our tail before we go ahead and add flaps. Make sure that we don't get any kind of tail stall. I don't know if I can see back there. Like, usually helps to get the right keyboard. What do you think? You can kind of see the tail. Look. So it looks clear. Okay. So we're good to go. We're going to go ahead and come down. And we're going to get the gear down. So you can hit G, or you can flick that lever down there. We're going to configure the flaps for the takeoff position right now. So keep your hand on the yoke when you add flaps. Really, the autopilot would be off normally if you're flying in ice, if you have ice on the airframe. But we're in Flight Simulator, and we're really not in the ice either at this time. Okay, so final approach fix right up ahead here. 2 miles, gears down, 3 green, look at that. So we have all 3 wheels down, and we only have this long to go. It's a long approach. So we just got past the MOPCA fix, and we are going to continue down to our minimums, which are 3,100. And we are configured for landing. As far as the approach checklist, we've got pumps and ignition on auto. All the lights are on, so we are visible. And we have a proper tank. You know, the fuel should be balanced. Zoom in, it is balanced. So it's good to go. We can go ahead and turn off some of this ice equipment if we're out of the ice. We're not quite out of the ice yet, so I'm going to leave it on. We can get a little lower. Now we need to go down to 3,100. Yes, forgot to do that. we're going to pull the power back and decrease vertical speed. We've got 1,000. We could do like 1,300, 1,500, and get on down there. We want to capture 3,100 feet. And hope we see the runway. I have no idea if we're going to see the runway or not. This is real world weather. We're playing with live people. If you don't see the runway, you're supposed to go missed, but I'm supposed to go eat dinner with my wife, so we're going to see the runway no matter what on this landing. And that would be a horrible decision in real life, of course, okay? But that's not what this is. Man, what is it, 0-0 today? This is horrible. Come on. I see another airplane. See him out there? The lights? Look at that. Oh, they're over there chasing each other around. Yep. We're going to go ahead and disconnect the autopilot and continue down here. Yeah, we're going to find this airport. I don't know why it's not in there. It's 5 miles out still. Keep coming down. We can go all the way down to about 1,800 feet before I'm going to feel really uncomfortable. Okay, now. Still don't see the airport. Still don't have any glide slope. Not only are we not getting clearance to land and breaking that rule, but we also have broken all the minimum altitude requirements. But at least the plane is configured somewhat correctly as far as I'm concerned. Alright, we're going to have to turn a little bit, it looks like, because we're landing on runway 6 up ahead. And it's runway 5? Runway 5. 2,200 feet. Come on, where's the ceiling today? Do you see the runway on the screen? Because that's going to save our ass today. Look at this. In Flight Simulator, you don't have much to worry about. But getting to dinner with your wife is definitely one of those things. Alright. And we're on the glide slope. Imagine that. Where did that come from? Jeez. Okay, we'll take it. Add another notch of flaps. We are 0.9 out. Whoa, this thing just ballooned on me big time. We want to get back on that glide slope. Then we found the runway here. Getting a little slow. We just did a big boo-boo, so let's correct that mistake. And here we go. Full flaps, noses down, trims down. And we are really, really, really high and getting blown off to the left of the runway. Look at that crosswind. Look at the windsock. The windsock says you're going to crash. So let's continue. Whoa, you don't want to drop the wing that bad. And we're going to... Okay, let's fix that landing. And that's how you salvage a landing in Flight Simulator 2020. Woo! That was some wind. I don't know, the crosswind controls are somewhat better than the old Flight Simulator. Anyway, here we are at Queenstown, and we're going to go ahead and just block the runway for everybody else because we like to ruin the fun. So I'm just going to kind of cross the runway like this and stop and be one of those guys. Yeah, try and land now. Alright, well, I hope you guys had fun. I will talk to you later. See ya.